Welcome to English Impulse, the podcast for English learners and, well, basically everyone.
And welcome to our Business Impulse section, where we are looking to improve your business English skills. We'll walk you through real-life situations and show you how to handle them with confidence. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Annie.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Business Impulse. Today we're talking about logistics. But before we begin, let's start with 4 quick-fire questions. We'll reveal the answers in a moment.
Okay, we're ready. How long does it take to produce a can of soda, including everything from mining aluminium ore in Australia, turning it into a can, filling it with a drink, shipping it across the world, and delivering it to your fridge? Is it A, 9 days, B, 193 days, or C, 319 days?
Question 2. How much of that total time is spent on actual manufacturing compared with logistics like transport, storage, customs, and distribution? Is it A, 3 hours, B, 3 days, or C, 3 weeks?
Question 3. What percentage of world trade moves by sea? A, 30%, B, 60%, C, around 80%.
Okay, and one final question, which usually takes longer, making a product or moving it through the supply chain. Is it A, manufacturing, or B, logistics? Well, if you guessed all B's, you're on to something.
Right, so let's start and let's go back to the first question. For many consumer products, like a can of soda, the total journey can be around 193 days, or even more, depending on sourcing, shipping routes, warehousing, and retail storage.
And surprisingly, the actual manufacturing time may only be around 3 hours in total. The rest is movement, waiting, storage, custom clearance, and delivery.
Which tells us something important. Products are often made quickly, but move slowly.
Right. And yet, you can get something delivered to your door in under 24 hours. How does this happen?
Well, to answer that, I think we have to go back in history and we have to start looking at exactly what is logistics, where it came from, how it developed. So, logistics is the planning and movement of goods efficiently. In simple terms, it means managing an entire flow of products, from raw materials to the final customer.
And today, we're going to explore how that system developed, why it matters, and why logistics keeps the modern world running. But before we look at modern logistics, let's take a quick step back in time and explore where it all began.
Because logistics actually started with armies and trade routes. The word itself comes from military planning, making sure food, weapons, and troops arrived in the right place at the right time.
And some of the earliest examples were huge networks like the Roman roads and warehouses, which helped move goods across the empire.
Then there was the famous Silk Road connecting Asia and Europe. Through trade, sailors, merchants, and caravan operators were really the first freight movers in history.
That's right. Now let's fast forward to the 19th century, and the Industrial Revolution changed everything. This is when freight forwarding became a real profession.
Okay, freight forwarding. Freight means cargo.
Right.
Forward means to send. So this was the first business, if you like, which dealt with transporting goods. Freight forwarders. They arranged the movement of cargo for merchants. They handled paperwork, customs, booking ships, and coordinating rail transport.
And at that time, their role was mainly to act as transport intermediaries, helping goods move from A to B, rather than managing the whole supply chain.
Yeah. Then came another major turning point in the 1950s, containerization.
Standard shipping containers transformed global trade. They reduced loading times, lowered theft, and cut costs dramatically.
And suddenly companies needed much better coordination between ports, trucks, and railways and warehouse. And not to mention that the fact that all this time the volume of goods being transported was constantly increasing.
That's right. And it was between the 1950s and 1970s that just-in-time came into play, which means they eliminated waste and reduced inventory.
Yeah, just-in-time was invented by Toyota, as you said, and it was to reduce inventory. Cars, car parts are expensive things to store.
Right.
They realised that having stock in your warehouse is money. So they decided only to order as needed. And since then, this just-in-time system has moved across most industries. For example, you have even in your local retail store, you've got a thing called point-of-sale inventory, whereby the system updates warehouse stock the minute an item is scanned in the shop.
That's right. And obviously, those are some of the benefits, that everything is instantaneous, the costs are kept low. The downside to this is that when we have something like a war or a pandemic, the supply chain is stopped.
Exactly, because you have nothing to fall back on.
That's right. If you don't have stock, you have nothing to meet the demand.
Yeah.
And so if there's a problem in the supply chain, a problem in the way that ships can move, everyone has a problem.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Okay, let's move now to the 1980s. Customers wanted one company to do more than simply transport their cargo.
Yeah, because everything was getting more complicated by this stage. So businesses now needed warehousing, inventory control, packaging, distribution, and visibility across international supply chains.
And they also wanted IT tracking and smoother coordination between multiple countries.
That's when many freight forwarders rebranded themselves as logistics providers, third-party logistics companies, often called 3PLs or supply chain specialists.
So freight forwarders used to move cargo.
But logistics companies today move cargo, data, inventory, and customer expectations.
And this is why logistics has become one of the most important industries in the modern world.
And of course, closely related are tariffs. Have we time to talk about tariffs today?
No, let's leave that for another day, thank you, as it's all a bit up in the air at the moment.
Exactly, it's not very clear cut at the moment. Yeah, we'll deal with that another day.
Okay, well, this is our first episode on logistics. There will be more to come, so stay tuned.
Okay.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.